We're less than 1 hour away from the polls closing at early voting precincts across the state.
News Channel 5's Chris Davis is live at one of those sites. It is the Howard Office Building in Nashville. And Chris, how busy is it over there?
Tell you, Rory, it's been crowded here all day. It's been crowded at Green Hills all day. We hear the same out in Hermitage. So it's safe to say it's been a really busy early voting day, at least for the last day of early voting, but it got off to a pretty sluggish start. So we wanted to ask the question, how could that potentially impact who wins? At first glance,
I left and I come back.
you might take this long line of cars at the Hermitage Public Library as a sign.
I'm just encouraged by all that I see here, everybody coming out.
There's no doubt, on the last day of early voting, we've seen big crowds.
I am overwhelmed with it, yeah. I had to park in the grass over there myself.
But across the state, as of this morning, only about 6% of registered voters have opted to vote early.
If the Democrats were looking for a large turnout here to show that their voters are more motivated and ready to go, they have less voters coming out than the Republicans do.
Tennessee is one of several states seeing a low to average turnout. News Channel 5's political analyst Pat Nolan points out that lack of enthusiasm actually goes against the word of new Democratic frontrunner Bernie Sanders, who has promised he will bring in voters that don't typically participate.
Well, we haven't seen that yet. Perhaps Super Tuesday will be the biggest test.
Whether he excites the masses for the primary or not, Nolan believes Sanders is certainly on the path to clinching the nomination if he wins big on Super Tuesday.
Yogi Berra used to say it's going to get late early this year, and so it's going to get late early because we'll now have more than a third of the delegates selected after Super Tuesday.
But perhaps the biggest takeaway from Tennessee's early voting totals is that more Republicans have voted in an uncompetitive primary than Democrats, meaning in November, there's likely no sign of change, at least here in Tennessee.
I think that says for November, what we all kind of suspect is that Donald Trump's very strong here and Tennessee will remain a deep red state.
Now, of course, all of this comes as Tennessee is getting a lot more attention from the presidential candidates themselves. You've probably seen some of their ads on TV. Plus, Michael Bloomberg announced today that he will be visiting Clarksville along with 2 other Tennessee cities on Friday. How much of a difference will that make? Only time will tell. Vicki.